What's up, Lady McFly? Let's see what we got here. What's up, 111? 1. I think it was notifying people that I'm going to be coming on in 3 hours for some reason, even though it says Eastern time in my plan thingy. I wonder why. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Simulation Talk 243. We'll give a few people to show up, because I guess, I think what it did is that it told people that I'm going to be way later. I think that's what happened. We'll ask people when they come on right now. Yes. Good averages. What? Oh, it was supposed to be AM. Okay. Anyways, that was a mistake. The whole time is messed up at this point. Yeah. Oh, maybe I made a mistake. It was supposed to be 12:45 AM. Did it show Eastern time? Ebony? What's up, Ebony? What's up, Terry? I think I made a mistake. Naomi Pachamama. Frank. What's up, Brad? Ebony, did it say Eastern time? Just out of curiosity. PM, but Eastern time? Yeah, I guess instead of AM, I did PM. Yeah, it should have been AM. Oh, well. We're going to slowly build up. Pacific Standard Time. What? It said Eastern Time. I mean, I made a mistake with the PM for sure, but it said Eastern Time. Okay, now we're going to know that it changed it. Man, there was some issues with the Eastern Time, Western Time. The issues of traveling all the time. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's wonderful. What's up, Kelly? KVP, Sean, Professor Butt. Nice. Local time zone, and it's tomorrow. Like, yeah. So I was trying to say 12. I was trying to set it up for 9:45 p.m. Pacific time. But then in StreamYard, it kept on showing EDT, so Eastern time, not Pacific time. So I was like, well, if it's calculating Eastern time, then I got to tell it by Eastern time, 9:45, and in Pacific time is midnight 45. But I didn't change the PM because you have to change the thing. It doesn't go by the... See, this is the problem with the American system, that you don't have the military time, like that the whole world is using, which prevents all the mistakes because it's 00:45 and not 12:45. In any case, I did 12:45, didn't change it to AM, which is my bad. But now you're telling me it's also showing you in Pacific time, which it wasn't because it was showing Eastern time. Okay, whatever. What's up, Carson? Simulation of what? Of a hot dog? Woohoo, Terry! Congratulations, brother. Happy to announce that my wife and I hook back up after 2.5 years. That is so exciting. Tell us what led to that. That's interesting. What's up, Brittany? Lauren? You got it, Carson. I don't know who gifted it to you. It might have been Ebony, might have been Chris. We deeply appreciate them. Thank you so much. Getting sober. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I'm so honored, man. Terry is saying by getting sober and going to Vipassana, it changed me. Man, I'm honored that we had anything to do with it. This is incredible. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is like this man, wow. I'm so touched. I'm so happy for you, brother. This is incredible. Huge congratulations. What's up, Charlie? You owe Vipassana to me. You definitely don't owe Vipassana to me. I now get to enjoy good karma thanks to you. So believe me, the payment, the balance is already in place. Thank you so much. As you know, as Goenka says, if you don't send him metta at the end, the technique is not going to work for you. What's up, Jackie? Good to see you. Which simulation are we talking about? The ultimate simulation, the computational environment we live in, the one we're creating, and the one that is actually unfolding. Yes, sir, Brandon. Let's go. Everybody, Vipassana. Yeah, Enter the Void is quite a movie. Mo, Ms. Melinda, Judy, Gregory. How are you, everybody? Okay, today's going to be relatively short. I don't know. Usually when I say that, it still goes on for like an hour, but I do have a very early start tomorrow, so let's remove some of the light. Way too much light. New theories. Not so much new theories, because you don't just swap theories for the kick of it. Can I get into aliens? Are they ones who created the simulation visiting us inside of it? I don't know. Maybe. The truth is that I don't know why this subject doesn't really capture me that much. Even though I've heard recently from sources that I have reasons to take seriously that there is a connection between the molecule space and the aliens that we see in even in Jersey. Val would love this. I don't know, obviously, but yeah, there's a good chance of that. I mean, obviously, that we're gonna find out, but you really believe you create your reality like science fiction movie Abracadabra? Yes, but you're co-creating it with the momentum of everybody else's conviction. Symbols. Brett is saying the symbols in the line are Stargate symbols. Maybe. Call waiting for calls but getting paid. Nice, Carson. That's awesome. Well, if you rather trust physics and biochemistry, chili shot, there's a whole field of physics called computational physics or information physics, which deals in describing the world in terms of computational rules, which is exactly what we're talking about. You got it, Ancient Seed. I heard a claim that you made. Terry's so fucking saying, I heard the claim that you made the other day that you were the most experienced psychonaut. What constituted that claim? I didn't say the most. I said one of the most. Without a shadow of a doubt, you would be hard. It would be hard to find individuals that dove as deep and as many times as I have throughout my life. It's not necessarily to pull any rank. It's just it was designed to outline the fact that I do know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the phenomenology of these spaces. Of course, I can't possibly know that I'm the most experienced ones, and statistically, it's extremely unlikely. But I would be up there for sure. I don't know top what, but top something for sure, because I've been doing this for 30 years, and as far as I know, exchanging notes with pretty experienced psychonauts, I don't know of a lot of people that went as deep as I did in terms of just quantity and depth of experience. Do I believe we can escape the simulation? What are your thoughts on what could be on the other side? Well, the point is that no, you can't escape the simulation, because the anywhere you're going to escape is going to be part of the computational environment. So you're just going to go to a separate layer of it, which I guess would be a different simulation, but it would still be part of the simulation. It would still be part of the computational world. But also, notice it's an interesting thing that the first go people have is that the second you say computational environment or simulation, they say, how do we escape? That's interesting. There's a really famous book called Wherever You Go, There You Are. And that's a very important idea to recognize, which uh, meditative practices are very good at making it front and center, which is it doesn't matter where you're going to go. It doesn't matter how many dimensions it's going to have. It doesn't matter what place it's going to be, even if it's designed to be a heaven. If your mind tends to drift towards places that make you want to escape, you will want to escape no matter where you are. So the point isn't to run away from anything. To say we live in a simulation is just describing the state of affairs, describing what is the underpinnings of our world. It is not to say that this is a prison or anything negative. It's just that it's computational in nature. So there's nothing to escape. It's just kind of like asking, can we escape the universe? No. The same reason you can't escape for the same reason you can't escape the simulation. Somebody is updating your birds. Oh, how you doing, brother? It's so cool that your name is Dread Pirate. Um, Would like to see if you have any thoughts on why. Oh wait, I thought you are identifying as the eye patch guy. Oh, so it is the eye patch guy. No, bro, you're confusing me. Uh, your question is why you're unresponsive? I think it's a genetic thing. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think it's a genetic thing, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually going to have a conversation with Gallimore soon, so I'm going to ask him about this. Also, good to see you. Are we simulated? Computationally rendered. That will be the more accurate description. We are, yeah, you can say we're AGI for sure. Why is it jumping on me all the time? You're going to be on the SFO Squares podcast? That's awesome. I'm excited. Please let me know when it comes out. Also, you have my number, right? So please text me. Oh yeah, thank you, Ebony, for reminding us. If you guys want to give us a follow on Twitch, it's LaserX83. Go to Twitch now and follow us, the stream there from LaserX83, because we want to grow our Twitch. So if you have the opportunity to do so, please help us out. LaserX83 on Twitch. Thank you, Ebony, for reminding us. Also, I'm going to put our website on the screen. You can go to codeofreality.com. If you want to check out the rest of the stuff that we're doing, and or get any of our merch, which helps the project. We have incredible shirts and mugs with our old logo on it, which is great because it's going to be a collector's item that's never going to exist again. So you can get something that will never exist again. It will be a very special item within a few years. I promise you that, because we have a new logo and it's not coming back. Thank you, Naomi Cat. Real is whatever you're experiencing. That's the only thing that can constitute real. You don't like the new logo so fucking? Oh, man. That makes me sad. Well, it is what it is for now. After we ascend, can we get reincarnated to restore balance to the world? You don't need to ascend for this. This is our job to do now. Chill Shot is saying string theories, etc. From the point of empirical sciences, physics, chemistry, etc., materials, these strings, theories, multiverse, etc., are not even theories. Yeah, they're frames of theories, but that's irrelevant. The only question is, does it hold any water? Which I know a lot of physicists would say string theory doesn't, even though a very big chunk of theoretical physics is in that field still. So how are everybody doing? What is your favorite theory so far? Chili Shot. What's up, Just Jen? Carson saying, I'm pretty sure I know of actual NPC character that glitches in real life. Can you see what effect the code has around this individual if they agree to do the experiment? Probably not. I don't think that's a real thing, NPCs in general. Chili Shot, what's your favorite theory? What resonates with you the most? He's saying, real science is not based on any delusions or imagination, but on the rule first I look, I see, I understand. Ooh, I would challenge that, sir. I would say that is a hard wrong. Simply because, well, first of all, your definition of delusions is, of course, a weak sauce argument that isn't really an argument of any kind. And then imagination, science will not exist without imagination, good sir. Imagination is your ability to project into the space of what isn't to try and figure out what maps on to what is. Without your ability to abstract, without your ability to imagine, you would not be able to abstract anything. So I would say that's just a false, first of all. But on the rule, first I look, I see, I understand. Yeah, you need to take a couple classes of philosophy, my friend, because that is just wrong. Because when you look, it's already perceived by a frame you have of what you believe, even if it's tacit or behind the scenes without you realizing it. But you're already riding on top of a very large machinery of ideas that you yourself cannot see because it's the water you swim in. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, of course. That is, in fact, the case. So, nothing, as David Deutsch famously says, all observation is contextual, and all of it, without exception, is theory laden. When you look at something, it means nothing without the frame you're placing on it, which is the theory you already have. And then you modify the theory as you go. But all of it is a frame that is assumed. In fact, you never stop guessing. It's all guesswork. It's just that some guesswork is a lot more accurate, and we call those scientific theories. Thermonuclear scattering. Cool. Is that your field? Is that what you do? Hold on. Some things around. That's interesting because I know the two words, but I've never heard them used together. It sounded superfluous to me because nuclear has to do with heat emission from a nuclear effect. But then you said scattering, which sounded like, I don't know, it just felt like it's not quite, there's something that is being amiss. So I Googled it, and the first thing that comes up is thermonuclear scattering isn't a standard physics term. Care to explain? Yes, my dear Dan. But to make real science, I'll give you an example. If you ever want to claim gravitational waves, black holes, etc., you must experience them in real reality. Then you create. Well, but you've never seen them. That's exactly the point. And I'm not being facetious or just difficult, but that's just a fact. You've never seen a black hole. In fact, you cannot see a black hole. That's the whole point of it. What you see is different things that are entering orbits around black holes. And because we have a theory or an explanation of what are the gravitational forces, tidal forces that happen around black holes, with quite a bit of specificity, of course, but those are still models, right? Then the second matter starts behaving around these regions of space. You cannot see a black hole, of course, you know that. These regions of space, if they behave in a particular way that match the predictions from equations, then you say, aha, the closest thing that this thing matches in its behavior is to what we call a black hole. Now, that's not a moot point or a semantic argument. It is simply to illustrate that it flies in the face of your claim that you have to see it to know it. You don't see it. You just know it because it's theory laden. This is why I'm very much fall within the school of thought of, I guess, what is now known to be the Deutschian way of thinking about it, which I guess is an evolution of Karl Popper's ideas about knowledge in general, which really it's always some conjecture followed by testing and verified by verified by testing. Observations is just one type of testing. What's up, Dr. Luke? Oh, man. Oh, it was like this. But I like this conversation. I liked it a lot, so I appreciate you, chill shot. Dr. Luke is saying the reality you perceive, it's mostly the brain guessing and filling the blanks. You are not aware of this. The brain is a wonderful filter. It is. I would agree with that. How can you be certain we're in a simulation? Could you please elaborate? Well, Ancient Seed, this is what this channel is about. We usually talk about this. If you've never watched any of my videos about what I'm claiming to have discovered, I think you need to do that first. In fact, in every live, I'm now adding 2 videos in the description that are the context to everything we're talking about here. So if you haven't watched any of that, I would say just go and watch that. The 2 links in the live in the description. The first video I ever put out about my claimed discovery a few years ago, and the second one is a trailer for the film that we're now working on, the documentary about it. It will give you some context, and of course, after you watch it, we can have a deeper conversation. Sheila Shah is saying the age we're now, it's all opposite way. First, I develop my delusion, and then look for it in reality, and can't never find it. Well, I think you're doing a very overarching statement. It's definitely not the way that I'm approaching the world. I understand you're probably lamenting about a certain portion of the population that just decides that what they feel is what reality is. In which case, if that's what you're pointing to, I would agree with you that that is an issue. But it's definitely not my stance and not how I approach epistemology. But it's saying, do you have any advice on how to lift our friends and the ones we love out of the water onto the path without drowning ourselves? It's really weird. For some reason, I feel as though I have to help. Yes, that is a very common conundrum of how do you help others when they're drowning when you know where the shore is. Well, the only way is that you have to teach them how to swim towards the shore, because even if you help them, if they keep being delusional about what gets them in the water, they're going to keep getting in the water, and you can't really live other people's lives for them. So I would say that in the case of just complete confusion, pointing people to particular practices like contemplative practices or meditative practices, I think those are the most effective in a relatively short period of time. Again, I'm always going to say Vipassana is one of the best tools just because it's free, it's everywhere. All you got to do is allocate some time. And without commitment, nothing can ever happen. What is thermal expansion law? Does that relate to thermodynamics? What's up, Gory? Oh, Gory Gray, the goose. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, Dr. Luke. Disappointing I can't share the thoughts on the code except for typing. No, you can come to TikTok and I can bring you on. Ooh, Indiana. What's up, Roland? Used to live in Indianapolis. We're in northern Indiana. What's up, Jen? So you can come on TikTok on Danny Goller and I can bring you on. Thank you, Gory. The Mandela effect is caused by CERN shooting lasers into the wall. Just like on the show Stranger Things, they're manipulating timelines and opening portals for unknown entities. No. I agree with Terry. He's saying, be the light. You can't save everyone, but you can resonate your love to them, and it should be contagious. Fully agree. These rules, it's raw empirical science, no excuses. I'm not sure what you're referring to. When you see people's names change in your family and see things outside of the internet change, you know reality is fluid. Or you become a schizophrenic, one of those. I mean, equally likely. Can the simulation end? Are we perhaps a forgotten project? Or are we being watched? And for what purpose, in my opinion? It's not that you're being watched. Everything is being recorded by just by happening. No, we're not forgotten. Nothing is forgotten. And as far as I understand, all the simulations run in order to understand themselves, to understand reality itself. What's my opinion on the Mandela effect? Plausible. I think you're jumping through timelines all the time. You don't need high energies for this. It's just the nature of the world. It happened to me. I'm fully schizophrenic at this point. Nice. Have I personally read the Synergic Theory book? No. Can I elaborate on the timelines? Yeah, it's well, the many worlds interpretation, as looked at through Stephen Wolfram's Ruliad. It's a pretty deep conversation that I don't think we're gonna have enough time today. But if you remind me, Drasko, I will approach this maybe in the upcoming week. Glad to hear that, Terry. Ebony's saying, I believe that now we just need others to realize how powerful their minds are so we can co-create our way out of this mess. We're already doing it. You too, Ancient Seed. I'm probably not going to have any time so fucking unfortunately. There's just too many things, brother. To be honest, simulation theory originates from the past Einstein's delusions fantasy about quantum mechanics and question. Won't still exist. When do I look at it? No. That is also not true, brother. That's absolutely not true. The idea of the simulation is as old as human thought. The most recent iteration of the oldest version would be Plato's cave, which is literally the simulation theory. Because the simulation is not dependent on the substrate, just the idea of you not seeing the world for what it really is. And that, I'm willing to bet that that idea is as old as human thought and probably before that. So Einstein never spoke about this. In fact, he was a big resistor of the quantum world. And again, I'm sure you know this. So it definitely has nothing to do with Einstein. Also, I'm not proposing a theory, just to be clear. I'm saying something a lot more radical. I'm saying I have proof that we live in a simulation. I'm not playing with hypotheticals. And we are now working scientifically to substantiate the claim. Exactly, Richard. Oh, good idea, Terry. I might do that. If you can just put it in Discord for me, because I'm going to forget. Non-duality, in my experience, feels like everything is just happening and I am awareness watching. How do our thoughts then affect the system if they are just sensations? They don't. You have no influence on it whatsoever. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've experienced non-dual states. Everything just happens. Descartes never called it an evil demon. He just says a demon, and people add the evil. It's just a thought experiment. It's not a theory. And it's an incoherent one at that, by the way, because it postulates a state outside of all possible states, which is not a possibility, which is what is always being missed about this thought experiment. Last question. All religions on earth have some sort of heaven. Is that a part of the simulation when they depart? No, Buddhism does not have a form of heaven. They believe in heavenly realms, but they're not the same as heavens. Ebony's saying, I love when Diana Pasulka talks about that Plato's cave. Could listen to her talk for hours. Can you send it to me, Ebony? I would appreciate it. Because what the thought experiment postulates is if there could be a being that would know all the states in advance and therefore always be able to slowly move them to one side. So it would the reason the hypothetical doesn't work is because in reality, in order for any information, for any state to move to another state, you need some work to be done. And when I'm saying work, I'm using the term technically. There's a technical term called work. In fact, it's the deepest principle in physics, the Lagrangian. Veritasium did a really good episode on this. And you can't describe a world in which there's a being that is both not influencing the thing that it's moving with its own state, and at the same time not only is aware of all the states somehow, because in order to be aware of it, you have to be exchanging some information with it in some form, which means you're going to be influencing it. So the uncertainty principle, you're postulating a world without the uncertainty principle. That is pure fiction. So it's designed to illustrate a point, but the point doesn't run because there's no way you can describe a world like that, even in principle, without breaking every logical rule known to any possible mind. So it's basically the same as saying, well, God can just do it. Okay, well, that's doing nothing, especially not in a serious conversation. There's no mechanism that you can propose that can ever make that work. There's already marriage proposals here. That's wonderful. I don't know very many other public famous people who have had clone malfunction type glitch in real life that could have interesting effects on code. Oh my god, Carson, what are you talking about? Diana Pasulka is a professor of religious studies. She does talks all the time. I've seen so many interviews of her. It'd take me a while to find which interview she talks about it. Maybe all of them. Well, you can ask ChatGPT. You can tell it specific points that you remember that she made in a particular order, and it can help you triangulate the talk. Do you believe people's outfits can change Mandela effect style, anatomy, etc.? Why is that too far-fetched? Why is that schizophrenic under simulation work code? No. I was just joking, of course. I just don't think it matters. That's really why I'm engaging with it with humor, is because I don't think any of this matters, because that is trivial. That is just what reality is. So if let's say it's changing people's clothes, okay, so what? Like, what difference does it make? It doesn't make any difference whatsoever to anything, or really any arbitrary detail is like, it's an interesting thing to think about. But if you really like pay attention to what matters, it's how much peace do you feel in any given moment of existence. What timeline you find yourself in makes no difference whatsoever. What's up, Jared? The point of the simulation is to understand why everything exists, if there is one. Why do you think this reality is logical? Well, nothing escapes logic. I know people like to say it in modern times just to be contrarians, but logic never exits the picture, because what logic is just the description of the state of affairs. That's it. The logic of any system is how it functions and why. So if existence works in a particular way, that is the logic of that existence. What you want to be asking is there consistency in its behavior. If there is consistency, that's the only universe in which you can say anything about anything that means anything to anyone. If there is no consistency from point A to point B, then it's indistinguishable from just random noise. This is why logic never exits the picture. Logic is above everything. But also, simulation to me is just a lower part of the reality. It's not the whole picture. The purpose is to get out of it. Yeah. Good luck with that. It's good to keep an open mind. Just not so much that your brain falls out. Yep. That's my quote on X. Oh yeah, and please join our Discord. I can't believe I forgot this. Thank you for reminding us, everybody. You can find the links both on TikTok and on YouTube. I know. I just want to know, where did the other person go? I don't know what that means. Sorry. Theoretically, could scientists open the hole to the other side? There's no other side. It's just all world. It's all computational world. Reading through the comments quickly. Oh, I was ignoring TikTok the whole time. Oh yeah, Roland, ready. I'm reading comments from YouTube. You guys, if you guys want to join our YouTube, it's Dango Thoughts. DANGO Thoughts. What's up, Don? Good to see you. Mandits? You mean mantises? What are my thoughts on giants? I have no thoughts on giants. Aaron is in the house. I don't really have much to say, Don, about mantises. I honestly don't have that much to say about them. How could you think there is simulation? Well, you gotta watch some of my videos. Watch the 2 videos that I linked in the description of this live and all the lives. A big robotic mantis levitated above me and operated on me, and feeling was like I was hypnotized with no emotion. I wish I had more info and stories about them. If you have stories, I have stories to Kingdom Come, but definitely not tonight. All right, well then. Nah, I'm good as well. I create a lot of content so people can actually catch up. If I'm going to repeat myself every time a billion times a day, we're not going to get anywhere. Oh, right. So I think today I will adjourn, guys. If you want to follow me across platforms, you'll be Danny Goller on Instagram and TikTok. It'll be Goller Danny on X, LaserX83 on Twitch, and Dango Thoughts on YouTube. DANGO Thoughts. Come join our Discord group, which you can find in the link tree on TikTok and in the links in the main YouTube page. And you can join the membership program on YouTube, which gives you early access to all my content, private things from my life. They exist nowhere else but on YouTube members. Weekly lives from members only, aside from these daily lives in which we dive deeper into subjects. And Zoom calls with me, which are from the second tier up. And you can go to codeofreality.com to see more of the stuff that we're doing, including getting your merch and or look at the details of the lasers. Sorry that the day is a bit abrupt and quick. I gotta get some sleep and I have an early morning. Love you all, guys. Thank you so much for our wonderful moderators. Ebony, love you very much. Chris is not with us, but Jessica, Guru, and thank you for all the community members. Terry, love you, brother. This is amazing news. It makes me truly, truly happy. Don, thank you so much for what was coming. And that's it. Thank you for all the community members. Love you all, guys. See you maybe tomorrow. If not, then the day after tomorrow. Peace and love. Ciao. Have a good night, guys. Thank you so much, Brad.